Hi guys, in this video I'm going to talk on the Active Directory Disaster Recovery Part 2. If you remember, if you look at my first video on the high level planning of the Active Directory, what to do. So in this video I'm going to talk on the how to restore your domain controller at the time of DR, or if you are doing any DR test. Okay, so let's get started. So just for an example, you have a DC1 in your production. This is your production side and this is your DR side. Okay, and you are taking daily full system state backup plus so that full and system state backup, what you need to make sure this backup media where you store the backup is getting transferred to the DR side or replicated to the DR side. Just for an example, you have Symantec net backup, okay, and your net backup side is getting migrated. So you have NB master and media server, which is getting replicated to the DR net backup master and media server, or the media is getting replicated and you build the net backup server from scratch when you do the DR test or DR execution. So what you need to do, you need to make sure that you have sufficient hardware or software. When I say software, virtual machine space is available on your DR site, and you restore that DC from backup to here. So if you're using net backup, you can use these full. So if you're taking full backup, if it's a virtual machine, you can backup entire VMDK. So you just restore the VMDK on one of ESXi box as a virtual machine, and this will be your DC1. Once it's restored, you can log in and you can check the authentication is working fine or not. But if you look at the practical environment, we have DC1, you have DC2, and you also have DC3, and you have these three domain controllers. But at the time of test, you don't want to recover all those three, you just need to recover DC1. But if you find DC1 is not booting properly and it's giving a blue screen, so you decided to boot DC2. Okay, when you put DC2, everything's fine, but when you try to check the roles, FSMO roles, these roles are missing on DC2. So what you need to do, you have to seize all the FSMO roles from DC1 to DC2, and once DC2 is having all those FSMO roles, then it will start authenticating and it will start providing all those FSMO services to the clients which are using this domain controller for an authentication purpose. Also, if you have a requirement like you want DC1 to be up and running, so what you can do, you can build a fresh new box with the same OS, and you just do the cleanup called a metadata cleanup for domain controller. Once you do the DC cleanup for metadata cleanup, this is done, then you install the OS, give the name DC1, you install the Active Directory users and components, and then all those components installed, you just add it into the domain via DC promo or Active Directory installation if it's Windows 2008 or 2012, and that will help you to recover your system. So once all the systems are up, it will start working fine. You can conclude your DR test. Just to make sure, I'm just making some space here, so I'm clearing the screen to make sure backup, restore is a longer task. Whenever you do the restore from the backup, it takes a lot of time. So RTO of the backup restore it's almost always a high. So you have to wait for almost a 6 to 8 hours for backup restore and do the FSMO stuff and metadata cleanup for Active Directory to start working and authenticate. After that, if you want to build a fresh server, so you have to do this installation and then DC promotion, and you have to spend some extra time on that. So just plan your DR planning or the recovery strategy. Like if you're doing the backup and restore, make sure you have enough time in your hand. Explain your team that you're gonna need 6 to 8 hours for DC recovery if you're going to restore them from the backup. It's totally based on the speed of your backup and your systems. Okay, I hope you have understand this oversimplified DC recovery procedure from the backup. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe my channel, like my videos, share my videos, and thank you for watching.